Lola Falana was a dazzling star, captivating audiences with her singing, dancing, and magnetic charm. But her journey wasn't always glitter and glamour. Born in 1942 in Camden, New Jersey, Lola showed extraordinary talent from a young age. Her parents, Bennett and Cleo Falana, noticed her dancing around the house at just 3 years old. By 5, she was belting out solos in the church choir. As a preteen, she lit up Philadelphia nightclubs with her incredible performances, accompanied by her mother, Cleo. Before her infamous appearance on The Tonight Show changed her life forever, Lola was on the path to becoming Las Vegas's leading lady. The legendary Sammy Davis Jr. spotted 16-year-old Lola in Atlantic City in 1958, giving her her big break in the dance industry. He cast the gifted teenager in a leading part in his 1964 Broadway musical, Golden Boy, after seeing her enormous potential. The 1965 publication of her first song, My Baby, marked the beginning of her career as a music artist. Frank Sinatra, the Old Blue Eyes, saw her around the same time and signed her to his illustrious record company, Reprise. Lola rose to stardom on a global scale because to her stunning good looks and many talents, including singing, dancing, and acting. It was Lola's language skills, together with her talent as an entertainer, that propelled her to mid-1960s Italian stardom. She used this talent to great advantage throughout her career in Italian movies, and it also helped her get more fans throughout the world. Indeed, Lola Falana's career was enhanced by her mastery of the Italian language. While appearing in 3 Italian films, including a spaghetti western, she worked hard to become fluent in the language. Because she absorbed Italian culture so thoroughly, she became a regular on Italian television and even sang songs in Italian. She presumably gave more nuanced and genuine performances since she was able to communicate more successfully with Italian producers, directors, and co-stars because to her command of the language. She was known as Black Venus because to her flawless command of the Italian language, which landed her roles in several critically acclaimed Italian films and made her a sensation on the hit Italian variety program Sabato Sera. Lola made her American cinema debut in The Liberation of L.B. upon her 1970 return to the United States. Jones, who was nominated for Most Promising Newcomer at the Golden Globes. The trailblazing model made history that same year when she posed for Playboy magazine and became the first black woman to appear in the renowned Tigress perfume advertisements for Fab. Laugh-In, The Flip Wilson Show, and The Tonight Show were the 3 most watched variety programs on television in the early 1970s, and the multi-talented comic appeared on each of them often. She stunned audiences all around the country with her stunning good looks, hilarious antics, and incredible singing and dancing abilities. Legendary performer Sammy Davis Jr. had Lola Falana pegged as Las Vegas's next major star in the 70s. Sammy did his best to convince the top strip casino executives of Lola's star power and extraordinary skill. After much negotiation, he was able to secure a residency for Lola at the Sahara Hotel and Casino, where she would perform in their renowned Congo showroom. Lola became the highest-paid female performer in Las Vegas at the time when she was given an unbelievable $100,000 a week to do 2 shows every night. A large penthouse room, 24-hour car service, and an unlimited clothes allowance at high-end designer companies were all part of her contract. Critics gushed over her breathtaking Bob Mackie-designed costumes, describing them as an endless procession of stunning, glittering dresses and provocative beaded bodysuits, and the Las Vegas elite flocked to her 1978 premiere performance, Lola Falana, Tropical Heatwave Review. Her captivating stage presence enthralled fans as she performed tap dance routines interspersed with deep jazz. Fans would often buy their tickets months in advance to Lola's renowned 20-year tenure at the Sahara. Las Vegas's First Lady wowed throngs of loving fans with her performance. Throughout her remarkable 20-year stint, Lola was the unrivaled queen of Vegas entertainment and the town's hottest ticket. Whenever Lola wasn't singing, you might find her visiting glitzy events all around the globe, from casinos to red carpets. She was often photographed with notable figures like Dinah Washington and Frank Sinatra. Lola patiently took time out of her hectic schedule to guide the careers of promising young black performers. The lessons she had learnt on her own path to fame were imparted to the audience. Personal life and hardship that is controversial. What preceded the now famous performance on The Tonight Show deserves our attention before we examine it. Along with sold-out concerts and magazine covers, Lola's meteoric climb to stardom accompanied a tumultuous relationship. Sammy Davis Jr., her mentor and someone who was completely captivated by her beauty and brilliance, had an affair with her in the passionate mid-1960s. With Sammy directing her professional life and personal relationships, Lola, who was 25 years his younger, also fell head over heels for him. When Sammy confessed to his suspicious wife, Mae Britt, in 1968, their tabloid-grabbing romance came crashing down. Their unexpected divorce and Lola's tutelage came to an abrupt end that year. This happened after many passionately amorous years of their connection. In a 1970 ceremony attended by a star-studded crowd, Lola wed Feliciano "Butch" Tavares Jr. a few years down the road, a member of the very gifted band the Tavares Brothers. Their contentious divorce in 1975 was the result of Lola's demanding performance schedule and her global renown. It all came crashing down for Lola in 1987, when she was at the height of her unstoppable success, when she had a severe relapse of multiple sclerosis, paralyzing her entire left side and making it difficult for her to do things like walk steadily, pronounce lyrics clearly, read sheet music or lyrics, see the faces of fans on stage, or hear their applause. Tragically, the star's prognosis necessitated the cancellation of $2 million worth of sold-out concerts throughout the globe. The doctor's incessant misery and intolerable anguish supplanted her luxurious existence. The once unstoppable powerhouse, who had outsold Elvis himself in her heyday, suddenly had to relearn how to walk and sing with slurred, weaker speech and fought mightily for years. Once renowned for her energetic theatrical performances, Lola sunk into a profound despair. She eventually admitted to reporters that she would return to her lonely hotel room and weep every night after suffering through her Vegas concerts, where she danced and sang in front of thousands, as she detested the weak, completely reliant version of herself that the dreadful, incurable sickness had become her, even if her theatrical persona had diminished somewhat. Her appearance, physical form, voice, and whole existence were abruptly and brutally stripped from her. Even suicidal thoughts crossed her mind, she said. There was simply so much mental and bodily suffering she had endured. In 1996, when a second attack of multiple sclerosis left the 52-year-old show icon wheelchair-bound, Lola had no option but to return to Philadelphia to live with her aging parents full-time. She became completely reliant on her mother's daily care. She almost gave up hope altogether over those endlessly gloomy days. Despite facing several difficult months, Lola remained resolute and relied heavily on her Christian beliefs. Her 4-octave vocal range had to be rebuilt note by note, she had to relearn walking small distances, and she had to restore strength for self-care. As her mother tenderly guided her through the challenging health issues, Lola devoted many days to prayer or voice exercises. Adjusting to her drastically altered sense of identity and uncertain future was extremely taxing. She was brutally stripped of all the abilities that had shaped her sense of value. Tearfully, Lola told reporters that she was gaining the most important lessons in life from her worst days. Lola Falana captivated audiences across the globe with her mesmerizing singing, dancing, and acting during her illustrious 30-year career in the entertainment industry. Even though Lola was famous all over the world when she was at her peak, there are still many interesting things about her that not even her most ardent admirers know. Lola used the stage name Lolita Black when she competed in talent shows before she became famous. A judge told her to alter it since black isn't commercial. She eventually settled on Lola Falana, drawing influence from her childhood nickname Lola and the Italian actress Gina Lollobrigida and her own name. Lola performed as a vocalist and dancer on tour with the late, great Duke Ellington. Duke took on the role of mentor, praising Lola's abilities and instructing her in the ways of captivating crowds via her performances. This experience was crucial in developing Lola's magnetic and authoritative theatrical presence. Along with the praise and publicity that Lola garnered, Sammy Davis Jr., another entertainment heavyweight, took note of her. Lola made fast friends with the renowned Sophia Loren during her breakout performance in Italian films in the late 60s. They became close because they were both black women who had broken glass ceilings in the entertainment business. Their relationship persisted for many years throughout that period. Lola achieved a historic first in 1970 when she became the first black woman to appear in an ad campaign for the coveted Fabergé perfume. In the same year, she made history by being the first black woman to get a full feature in Playboy magazine, when she appeared for a revolutionary pictorial. Many young black stars, including Michael Jackson and Prince, were covertly coached by Lola in the early stages of their careers. They both said that Lola's wise counsel and constant support helped them develop their artistic abilities and sense of self-worth. Lola was the epitome of down-to-earth cool. Despite her glitzy reputation, she typically favored comfy clothes over trendy ones. Off-stage, Lola often wore jeans and shoes. She was a huge sports enthusiast who relished going to events, particularly those involving the Philadelphia 76 ERS, a club she was local to. In fact, she had a hand in running the Las Vegas Stars, a minor league baseball club, back in the 80s. In the late 80s, Lola had accumulated a vast shoe collection of more than 2,500 pieces. Shoe buying was almost as much fun for her as shopping for her elaborate stage outfits. Steven Spielberg was so impressed by Lola's audition that she almost hired her as Shug Avery in the 1985 picture, The Color Purple. Spielberg was so pleased with her acting abilities that he even gave her the role. Comedic timing was on full display in the 90s and 00S when Lola made many unexpected cameos as herself on hit comedies, including Kids, My Wife, and Martin. Lola was a loving aunt to her nieces and nephews, even though she never had any children of her own. Even when she retired, she continued to show her support for her family by attending dance recitals, athletic activities, and other school functions. Philanthropy was still important to Lola, and she continued to give to cancer charities like the American Cancer Society. She was honored for her selflessness and leadership in the community in 2011. Lola Falana joined an exclusive organization that honors notable New Jerseyans who have made global or local effects in 2013 when she was admitted into the New Jersey Hall of Fame. She also received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in recognition of her achievements in the entertainment industry. Lola Falana's unparalleled triple-threat skill, groundbreaking career, and larger-than-life stage presence, along with her humble nature and mentoring offstage, created an unforgettable impression on the entertainment industry that stays with us to this day. Both her looks and the little-known facts about her that were revealed on The Tonight Show are fascinating. The backstory of her expulsion from The Tonight Show is much more interesting. What she did on air would surprise you. Lola Falana's stunning good looks, together with her outstanding singing, dancing, and acting skills, made her one of the most sought-after performers of the early 1970s. Lola was a mainstay on the most popular variety programs of her day. She wowed viewers with her musical performances on Joey Bishop's show and The Hollywood Palace. Her charming personality and comic timing were evident in her interviews, which won over presenters such as Bishop and Johnny Carson. When Lola made her Tonight Show debut in the late 60s, Johnny Carson took a shine to her right away. She became a go-to interviewee because to her contagious enthusiasm and electrifying musical performances. For example, she told Johnny a funny story about how her followers used to call her Lola Palooza instead of her own name. The two had a natural, humorous chemistry while they were on the air. But the records show that on September 21, 1973, during Lola's one and only appearance on The Tonight Show, she shocked Johnny and the viewers by going too far. Johnny spoke with Lola that night about her adventures in Africa. Lola recounted her experience visiting a remote town and seeing ladies going about their day without covering their breasts. Astonished laughter erupted from the crowd as Johnny's reaction was one of astonishment. However, Lola had just begun. From her guest chair, Lola rose abruptly and strode provocatively across the stage, positioning herself immediately in front of Johnny, before saying, "Johnny, I've always wanted to do this. This moment would be remembered with shame." People in the crowd started gasping when Lola pulled off an unexpected stunt. Details were vague, but rumor had it that she daringly exposed her breasts to a visibly embarrassed Johnny Carson. Johnny's cheeks became a blazing crimson and his eyes widened in astonishment. Suddenly, the camera swung to an unusual angle off stage left, revealing nothing but Lola's behind resting on Johnny's desk. Johnny was left perplexed and the crowd was stunned as Lola eventually made her way back to her seat after a moment that made everyone wince. Many fans were upset by what they saw as Lola's stunt, and many took their frustrations out on NBC in the days that followed. Consequently, they issued an executive order permanently barring Lola Falana from making any more appearances on The Tonight Show. The harm had been done, and Johnny Carson subsequently expressed sadness that Lola had to endure such terrible repercussions as a result of the episode. When Johnny's legendary program banished a guest for good, Lola Falana was the first and only one to do so. Nevertheless, it seemed that Lola's renown was simply amplified by the risky move. Lady Coco and the Liberation of LB were among her many successful 1970s films. Jones, please. In 1978, Lola even had her very own television variety show. Still, she would never go back to that first seat beside Johnny. The world mourned Lola's professional demise when she awoke one morning to discover that she had multiple sclerosis, MS, which had immobilized her whole left side. Falana was devastated but resolute. She would not need a cane or crutch. She made the decision to crawl on her belly. She shocked everyone by walking back onto the Las Vegas stage in high heels, only a few months after undergoing rigorous physical rehabilitation, all while drawing strength from her inner spiritual realm. But Falana had 4 additional MS outbreaks that left her momentarily crippled in the following year. She told Jet magazine the story of her struggle in early 1988, saying that her trust in God was the only thing that kept her alive. She made it clear that the term God was the starting point for her healing process, admitting that she had been less devout in the past but now relies heavily on her inner spiritual realm for support. Faith had healed her, and she was sure that someone had to be in charge of this. Falana began making house calls to MS patients to provide them with emotional support and therapy after having what she thought was a miraculous experience. She became well known in the MS community and was asked to play at many MS research fundraisers as a result. She stressed the significance of research, saying it is vital for helping those who don't have the will to beat the condition on their own by giving them with drugs. Despite persistent skepticism on her endurance, Falana joyfully returned to her glitzy career in show business in 1989. "God is testing my faith. I feel like a new person," she said with her audience. The test had evolved into a full-fledged spiritual calling by 1990. Falana startled her admirers when she announced her departure from the entertainment world to train as a Catholic nun from a pulpit in Chicago. She had made a vow of chastity and now dressed modestly. Falana said that she aspired to be as gorgeous, feisty, and sensual as the movie characters she saw as a child. She spoke clean about her plans to study hard in order to discover ways to increase her sexiness. Still, she changed her mind and said she only wanted to be called Lady. On Christmas Day 1991, Falana officially entered a Carmelite convent, returned to Philadelphia, and dove headfirst into evangelizing. Over the following years, Falana traveled the nation sharing her story of incredible recovery. She started the Lambs of God ministry to help orphans in Africa, and her story appeared in the 1996 documentary Miracles and Visions, Fact or Fiction. She also sponsored a movie about the anguish that women experience after having an abortion. Falana attributes her successful return to the entertainment industry to a higher power, since she continues to battle multiple sclerosis symptoms. She feels that her career would have been permanently stunted without this intervention. Nonetheless, she had a life-altering transformation as a result of her experience, which brought her back to her Christian faith. Following her near-death experience, Falana rejected her attractive persona, devoted herself to helping the sick and dying, and spoke up for the rights of the marginalized. Despite the fact that she is no longer a performing artist, her cultural influence lives on via her legacy. Do you have any thoughts about Lola? If so, please subscribe and share your thoughts with us.